Hey everyone, welcome to Broadband Deployment News. So Nokia today announced that they are going to be building fiber equipment here in the United States in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and this is to help BEAD recipients meet the Buy America, Build America requirements that are in BEAD. Be right back with the story. Thanks for joining me. Rick Husey here with Broadband Deployment News. So this is a press release on Nokia's website, and there also was a press conference today, an announcement where Gina Raimondo, the Secretary of Commerce, as well as Kamala Harris, Vice President, spoke. I've linked to this press release as well as to a video where you can watch that press conference, and I will tell you in a minute that there are places you're going to have to fast forward through, but I'll show you that. So here you've got Nokia first to announce manufacturing of broadband network electronics products for BEAD program in U.S. So again, purpose of this is BEAD has to comply with I think it's the Buy America, Build America Act, which says that if you're going to use a product and it's manufactured here in the United States, 55% of it needs to be U.S. made. Okay, so they're going to have to get components made here and the equipment itself. So that's the purpose of this. And it says first to announce. So they're the first ones to come out and say, hey, we're going to be doing this and here's how we're going to do it. I'm assuming I would fully expect maybe Calix, Adtran, maybe DZS, Dasan Zone, and whoever else, CommScope, I don't know, whoever else I would expect to be coming out and making announcements like this, figuring out how they can do this, because obviously they don't want to be left out in the cold as far as being able to supply fiber equipment for the BEAD program, because it is a requirement in BEAD. The Commerce Department has said that they're sticking to that. I mean, there will be certain waivers I'm sure they're going to have to make for certain things. For example, even with this manufacturing going on here in the U.S. from Nokia, then there may be components, chips and things that, when you add up all the chips that are in there, it may not be 55%, so there may be some waivers on that, but they're going to try, I'm sure, to get everything that can be made here in the United States, made in the United States. So here you see just a couple of things to pull out of this. So let me make this a little bit bigger here. There we go. So I can read it and you can read it. Nokia first to announce manufacturing of broadband network electronics. They're partnering with a company called Sanmina Corporation. That's a manufacturer in Kenosha County, Wisconsin. They're planning on starting this manufacturing in 2024. It doesn't say when. It's supposed to provide 200 new jobs to the state of Wisconsin. It says, in addition, Nokia plans to manufacture optical modules in the U.S., bringing additional high-tech jobs to the country. So it doesn't say what kind of modules and where in the U.S. When I think of an optical module, I think of a SFP, a small form factor pluggable, that would be in, for example, in an OLT. So I maybe that, but they're also doing that here in Kenosha. So maybe they're saying that they're going to be doing additional manufacturing here in the U.S. And there's not a lot in here. I linked to this and I linked to the video, but a lot of it is comments from people about how important broadband is, those kinds of things. We all know that. So one thing I wanted to point out, 70% of fiber broadband lines in North America are powered by Nokia. That's not something I was aware of. You hear a lot about Calix, for example. They're out there. There's Adtran. You don't think so much about Nokia sometimes, I think, because a lot of the larger operators are using them, whereas maybe some of the smaller ones are using Calix and some of those others. So you hear more news about that, I think, than you might Nokia. And Nokia's also been very strong in XGS PONs. So and we are a Nokia reseller. If you need Nokia, look us up. I'll have our contact information at the end there if you want to check that out. So there were some comments. You see comments were made by the CEO of Nokia. You see Vice President Harris here. She's got a comment. Gina Raimondo had a comment. The chairman of Sanmina. Also, the senator from Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin, spoke as well. It was interesting when Kamala Harris was talking about Tammy. She said, Tammy's really been fighting for Buy America, the provisions in there, which of course for people in Wisconsin is good, but some of you might be, now you know who to blame for that, because in some cases that's made it very difficult to get the equipment here in the U.S. But obviously that's good for her, and it's good for the United States for us to bring manufacturing back here, especially if we can get the chips back here, because That's all stuff that's very strategic for us, both economically and for national security. We really need to be able to build stuff here in the United States. So it would be good to bring everything here in the United States that we can. So your Nokia fiber optic broadband products manufactured in the U.S. will include, well, this says in the U.S., so maybe it is the optical modules that will be done elsewhere, not here. So it says optical line termination card for modular access nodes, small factor OLT. The OLT, that's the optical, I think it's optical line terminator, something like that. So that's basically the equipment that goes in the central office or out in the field that all of the customer premises equipment connect to. Then you've got OLT optical modules. That could be your SFPs, I guess. And then you've got an outdoor hardened optical network terminal, or ONT. The ONT is basically the customer premises equipment. It's called ONT, sometimes a optical network unit, I think an ONU. And outdoor hardened. So I'm thinking that's probably something that's on the side of the house. So it's out there and then it comes into the house, and maybe that might feed directly into a router of some kind. Maybe it comes Ethernet into the house. I know here I've got AT&T, and my ONT is on the wall inside, right below me actually, and then that plugs into a router. So maybe these ONTs on the house, you'll see those where it's a hardened device that sits out there and then goes into the house, probably through Ethernet, I think. Some resources, additional information here. So that's the press release. And then, as I mentioned, there was an announcement today, a press conference. So I was just going to make you aware. I did link to this, and I linked to the point where it starts. So you can see it was supposed to start at, I think it was 12:30 Central Time. It got started about 12:40 Central Time when I was looking at it. So you see, hadn't started yet. So it starts right about here. So then you've got... This is the Sanmina CEO, I think. Then you've got I think it was the CEO of Nokia right here speaking. That's him. This is, I think it was a VP from TDS Telecom, so a operator, TDS Telecom. And then right here, you have a right about here, he walks off. Then you have a really long time to wait. So all these people that were there were a lot of people there, and I think they were there. Obviously you got the Secretary of Commerce, you got the Vice President there, they're speaking. So a lot of people were there. They were very patient because here you guys 136. We go all the way out. I had to wait a long time. Then here things started to happen again. Got a Secret Service agent there. I think this is next up was, here she is. This is Tammy Baldwin, senator from Wisconsin. She spoke for a couple minutes. Then I think it was Gina. Yeah, then Gina Raimondo comes out right there. She speaks. Notice the lectern. So nothing on the lectern. And then Secret Service came out after she speaks. Secret Service came out, and then they put the little Vice President of the United States thing on the lectern, and they positioned that. They put I think they did something else. I don't know, but they were out there preparing for that. Then it was a pretty good delay. And then someone came out who, I think this, if I recall, this was, I know it was a business owner in Wisconsin who was talking about how difficult it was without broadband and how pleased she was that this was all taking place. So she actually spoke for just a minute and introduced Kamala Harris, who then came out and she spoke. And I think that was the end. Yeah, so she finished it up. So anyway, so if you're going to watch this video, just be aware there's going to be some fast forwarding. But it's easy to do. Just slide it along like I did. Look for what you want to watch right there. So again, I linked to that as well in this broadcast. So, or down in the the description of the video. So anyway, so there you go. This is, I think, important. And as I say, expect other manufacturers to kind of follow on to this to make announcements. Nokia got out there first. I don't know if the other manufacturers were even thinking about this. They were all probably thinking, of course, we're going to try to manufacture stuff in the United States. But Nokia has this partnership with this manufacturing facility to be able to do it. They came out and announced it. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal for Wisconsin. It was a big deal for the United States in that Secretary Raimondo could come out and say, hey, we're bringing manufacturing jobs back to the United States. Kamala Harris did the same thing. And so Nokia got out there with this announcement, and the next announcement, I'm sure they'll do it, but it won't be as big a deal because it won't be the first company that announced it. So I'm expecting others, like I said, Calix, Adtran, CommScope, Harmonic, DZS, who knows, all these others that are manufacturing fiber equipment, maybe even some folks that manufacture fiber itself to come out and maybe make announcements like this. But this was the first. And again, if you need any Nokia equipment, reach out to us. You see our website address there, our email, and our phone number, so we can help you with that. Just reach out to us. And if you send it to info@zquorum.com, I will get that and I'll forward it to the right people. Or just give us a call and you can talk to our sales folks and they can tell you all about it. So thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. If this was helpful, give me a like in the video. I'd appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, click the little bell. Click the subscribe button first, then click the little bell to be notified when I'm live, and you'll receive a notification on that. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.